All right, check this out. 1 minute, our boy is just a regular single dad, a total corporate slave. The next, his daughter vanishes into thin air. You just know he's about to snap, right? But here's the kicker. They didn't just kidnap any kid. They messed with the daughter of a living legend, a former Black Ops agent known only as Number 66. This ain't a rescue mission. It's a boss hunt, and our boy is the final boss. So, how does a regular office manager become a one-man army? The story throws us way back to his school days. And I use that term loosely. We're talking a full-on indoctrination camp. Look at this, propaganda posters, military officers for teachers. This wasn't education, it was conditioning. And in a system like this, it's survival of the fittest, literally. You either climb over the bodies of your classmates, or you become one of them. That bloody fist tells you everything you need to know. Our boy wasn't just a student, he was the top graduate of this school of hard knocks. The instructors weren't raising soldiers, they were forging living weapons. Thirst, they call it. The thirst for survival, for dominance. Every chokehold, every gasp for air was just another lesson in stripping away their humanity. And pretty soon, our boy went from being the one tested to the one giving the test. Take him. That cold, dead look in his eyes. He's no longer the victim. He's the monster they created, the sharpest tool in their shed. Once he's unleashed, it's pure, unadulterated rage. That roar isn't one of pain, it's a war cry. He's channeling all that trauma and turning it into a weapon, and God help anyone standing in his way. But even machines have ghosts. Suddenly, we flash to a woman with a tear of blood, a trashed room, and words of regret. You should have taken it. This isn't just about a kidnapping anymore. There's a whole history of pain and failure fueling this rampage. And there it is again, the number 21. It's like a bad omen, popping up every time things are about to get bloody. Our boy is deep behind enemy lines now, and whatever he stumbled into, 21 is at the heart of it. Look at the sheer terror on that officer's face. That's the effect Manager Kim has on people. He moves like a ghost, leaves a trail of chaos, and vanishes. And now he's got his knife to the throat of the next guy on his list. But not all monsters look the part. You got guys like this officer, all smiles and brotherly affection on the surface. But look closer at the soldier he's holding. That's not camaraderie, that's control. That kid's eyes are filled with pure, unfiltered hatred. Turns out, our boy defected to the South, but his new handlers don't trust him one bit. They're dangling his new life in front of him, making him jump through hoops to prove he's on their side. For a man who just wants to be a dad, this political game is a nightmare. And so, the loyalty test begins. A Black Ops mission is spun up, documents are printed, and before he knows it, our boy is geared up and heading back into the shadows he so desperately tried to escape. Meanwhile, the higher-ups sit back in their comfy offices, smoking cigarettes and moving pieces on a chessboard. And our boy, the former NK spy, is their most valuable and most expendable pawn. A classified order is signed, and a wet work team moves out under the cover of darkness. A high-stakes operation is officially a go. You just know this is all going to tie back to his daughter's disappearance somehow. And just like that, the mission goes sideways. All hell breaks loose. The commanding officer is screaming in terror while his men are getting ripped to shreds. This is the brutal reality of the world Kim operates in. But for Manager Kim, this is just another Tuesday. He scouts, he sprints, he slams through defenses like they're not even there. He's a one-man army. Little do those 4 guards know, they're already dead. And it's over in a flash. By the time the officers can even process what's happening, the fight is done. Our boy is standing there, drenched in blood, surrounded by bodies, with that same cold, empty look in his eyes. The monster they call Number 66 is back. The flashbacks hit again, reminding us of the brutal torture he endured. He's been broken and rebuilt so many times. It's because he survived hell himself that he knows exactly how to create it for others. Now, the tables have turned. He's face to face with one of the men from his past, that scarred officer. You can cut the tension with a knife. This isn't just a negotiation. It's a reckoning for past sins, with his daughter's life hanging in the balance. And we're back to the present day. Our boy rolls up solo to a shady-looking hotel, a place that just screams trap. And who's waiting for him? The same smirking military man from his past. This is going to get ugly fast. But our boy never walks in blind. While he plays the part of the lone wolf, his tech support, this hacker kid repping a Pink Floyd shirt is ready in the wings. But the enemy has their own tech guy, NBM. The system crashes. The kid is absolutely fuming. This is a coordinated strike. Kim keeps the front desk busy while activating a burner comms device. Back in the ops room, our hacker gets the signal and goes to work. Look at all that gear. This is how you wage a modern war. The receptionist is terrified. and she has every right to be. Our boy is lurking like a shark, watching everything. And there's 21 again, bold as brass. Whatever it signifies, it's the key to this whole mess, and Kim's eyes are locked on the prize. He's in. Kim makes it to the target's room and starts the search. But they've got a problem. Their comms are compromised. Was that Korean? The enemy is listening. They know he's there. The hunter is about to become the hunted. Even when he's resting, our boy is on high alert. You can just feel the tension radiating off him. Meanwhile, the rest of his crew is getting into position, tapping into the network. The calm before the storm. Following the lead, Kim finds himself in a Chinese hotel crawling with gangsters. He's just blending into the background, a predator lying in wait. You can tell this place is a powder keg, just waiting for a spark. And his contact is this guy, a flamboyant, choker-wearing rocker who barges in demanding soup. The total opposite of subtle. Kim keeps his poker face, but you know he's thinking, this is my backup? Really? But don't let the quiet meal fool you. Violence can erupt at any second. And look at our boy. He's strapped and ready. He didn't come here for the food. He came here prepared to burn this place to the ground if he has to. And the gang's all here. Another member of the team shows up, this time a dude in a full Taekwondo uniform. In a bar. Seriously, what is with these guys and their terrible disguises? A rocker, a martial artist, and an office manager walk into a bar. Sounds like the start of a bad joke. With everyone assembled, they get down to business. A mysterious woman with sunglasses joins them and immediately calls Kim out. Your acting at the hotel was just bad. Ouch. His cover is completely blown. They know exactly who he is. The rocker dude does not take criticism well. Being called out for his casual outfit sends him into a rage. This makeshift team is already at each other's throats. This whole operation feels like it could implode at any moment. But Kim is the one truly in charge here. He just calmly adjusts his glasses, radiating pure menace. The other guy tries to pull rank, claiming he's on official state business. Kim's response? A cold, dismissive smirk. National security means nothing to him right now. All that matters is his daughter. The tension at the table is thick enough to cut with a knife. Rocker Boy is trying to laugh it off, but nobody's buying it. Then, suddenly, everyone's expression shifts. The party's over. Trouble has arrived. And just like that, it kicks off. Rocker Boy uses his guitar as a freaking weapon, smashing faces with it. 1 minute he's posturing, the next he's a whirlwind of violence. Okay, this guy might be more than just talk. The fight is over as quickly as it began, leaving a room full of broken bodies. Our boy and his new, dysfunctional teammates stand over the carnage. They might not like each other, but for now, they're a very effective, very violent team. They just finished one fight, and now the main force is closing in. Kim knows they need to disappear. Should stay low for a while, he says. But as they flee, the soldiers chasing them are screaming in pure terror. What do they see back there? Ah, that's what they saw. The soldiers stumble upon the aftermath, the room littered with bodies. This wasn't a gang fight. It was a professional slaughter. They realize they aren't chasing some thugs. They're chasing a monster. Cutting back to the hotel lobby, Manager Kim is trying to blend in, casually reading a newspaper like nothing happened. But his Taekwondo teammate spots him and immediately tenses up. Dude, play it cool. Your terrible acting is going to get them both killed. And of course, Rocker Boy has to make an entrance too. So now you have 3 guys trying desperately to look inconspicuous and failing miserably. One's reading a newspaper too intensely, one's sipping a drink like a supervillain, and the third looks like he's about to have a panic attack. So subtle. So they just sit there, a motley crew of killers. Kim is laser-focused, the professional holding it all together, while the other 2 are just vibing. You get the feeling our boy is babysitting more than he's getting backup. And then we get a crucial flashback, the real motivation behind all this. Someone is blackmailing him. Kill him with your own 2 hands. Otherwise, I got no reason to protect that girl of yours. He's not just on a rescue mission. He's on an assassination job, with his daughter as the collateral. And just like that, the peace is shattered. A squad of suits swarms the lobby, and they're clearly here for our guys. Welp, so much for laying low. It's time for another round. To get the intel he needs, our boy goes into full stealth mode. He's an apex predator in the shadows, infiltrating the target's location and keeping eyes on a key woman in traditional dress. She's his way in. But things go south fast. A violent confrontation breaks out, and in the middle of it all, we see our stoic, hardened killer, crying. The only thing that can break through his iron facade is the thought of his daughter. It turns out the woman is just another pawn, being used by the real mastermind. And who's the puppet master? This smug guy in a suit, calmly watching the chaos he's orchestrated with a chilling smile on his face. He's the one pulling all the strings. Office manager, secret agent, loving father. The different masks he wears are starting to crack. All he wants is to be a normal dad. But fate keeps forcing the broken, weeping monster to the surface. A memory of a happy family. Now just a blurry photograph of a life that was stolen from him. That loss, that rage, finally pushes him over the edge. He draws his gun. No more games. No more being a pawn. He's ending this himself. To get the truth, he does the unthinkable. He takes the woman hostage. He's done trusting people, done playing their games. From now on, he's relying on the only thing that's never failed him: violence. He confronts the mastermind directly, gun in hand, hostage in tow. We leave this place alive. It's a threat, but it's also a desperate plea from a father who has nothing left to lose. Negotiations fail. It's time to fight. But his opponent is his own teammate, the Taekwondo kid. Turns out he was working for the enemy all along. The ultimate betrayal leads to an inevitable showdown. And this kid is no joke. He tears through a squad of armed guards like they're nothing. His kicks are flashy, powerful, and precise. The fangirling is real. This guy's a legitimate master. But Manager Kim is here to teach him a lesson. Flashy martial arts are useless in a real fight to the death. You don't need fancy techniques to subdue your opponent. With one brutal kick, he shatters the kid's entire worldview. The fight is absolutely brutal. The Taekwondo kid is throwing everything he's got, landing powerful, bone-shattering blows. But he's fighting a man who is not only used to pain, but seems to thrive on it. Our boy weathers the storm, calmly analyzing every move. The second he sees an opening, just one tiny mistake, he counters with lethal precision. He twists, he blocks, he strikes back. There's no wasted motion, just pure, deadly efficiency. And that smile on his face, that's the look of a predator who knows he's already won. It's over. And after that absolute carnage, the story throws us a curveball, cutting to a peaceful countryside village. They're celebrating a Jangsa, the grand champion of Korean wrestling. Dude gets a whole parade on a bull. But then we see this guy, casually lifting the entire bull over his head like it's nothing. What an absolute monster. Remember that bull-lifting beast? Well, fast forward to the present, and he's got our boy, Manager Kim, hoisted in the air, choking the life out of him. Look at the pure agony on Kim's face. This dude is not messing around. But he messed with the wrong dad. You don't corner a beast like Manager Kim. He flips the script in an instant, and slam. He absolutely demolishes the guy. And look at that vicious smile on his face. He's not just fighting, he's enjoying this. This is the monster they've unleashed. The absolute domination continues as he sends another goon flying into a wall. Our boy just stands there, an unstoppable force of nature, while this suit looks on in pure terror. He knows he's next. And why is he fighting like this? This is why. The comic reminds us of the core trauma. The moment his daughter, Minji, was taken. That look of pure desperation on his face, that's the fuel for all this rage. Back to the action, the guns come out. While everyone else panics, Kim is ice cold. Look at him, a one-man army clearing the room with deadly precision as he protects his daughter. He's not just a brawler, he's a trained killer. He takes down another one, but he's not finished. He's got a gun to the guy's head, and you can tell he's grilling him for information. You guys were really too clueless, he scoffs, breaking them down mentally and physically. Then the scene gets incredibly tense. He's checking his gun, and this ominous number 21 flashes on screen. He turns and points the gun at this woman in a hanbok. But wait, at the same time, he's gently caressing her head. What is going on? This is a total mind game. And now SHE has the gun. But look at her. She's terrified, tears streaming down her face. Meanwhile, our boy Kim just watches her with that stone-cold expression. He's testing her, pushing her to her absolute limit. And just when we thought it couldn't get more intense, a new face shows up. This guy in the cap is manhandling another suit, taunting him, "You filming a movie or something?" before grabbing him by the throat. The disrespect is real. And it turns out the guy in the cap is our boy Kim. He's staring down this smug-looking villain, with Minji watching anxiously from the side. And look at this. The villain brought an entire army of suits. The odds are stacked against him. But numbers mean nothing to Manager Kim. He just wades into the crowd. Grab. Swoosh. He's a whirlwind of destruction, tossing these guys around like ragdolls. One man against an army, and the army is losing badly. Meanwhile, as Kim is busy cleaning house, other forces are at play. We've got this Taekwondo expert, a mysterious group watching a building from afar, and these two suits having a tense conversation, one of them rocking a Chinese flag pin. Little do they know, all their paths are about to cross. Our boy gets a call, and whatever he hears, it's not good news. The guy on the other end is just laughing at him. Big mistake. That's all the motivation Kim needs to just unleash. Crash. He channels all that rage into one devastating punch. For a second, it looks like he's in trouble. He's on the ground, coughing, with this huge dude standing over him. But you can't keep this man down. He explodes from the ground with a counter that literally glows with power. He just turned the fight around in an instant. Once he's in the zone, it's game over. Our boy becomes an absolute demon, a flurry of rage-fueled strikes. Slam. Wham. This poor guy is just getting used as a punching bag. There's no stopping Manager Kim now. Crack. The impact literally shatters the ground. This dude gets slammed so hard his teeth are flying out. It's brutal. And Kim just kneels beside him, cold and detached, already thinking about his next target. But there's no time to rest. A new crew rolls up, led by this long-haired dude shouting Ichiwa. Based on the serious look on our boy's face, this isn't a friendly visit. The trouble just keeps finding him. And one of them is a real Spitfire, just screaming with rage. But Kim has zero time for that. He shuts her down immediately, grabbing her arm and taking control of the situation. He doesn't care who you are. If you're in his way, you're going down. Looks like this new guy has his own stakes in this fight. Someone's yelling at him, "Don't forget it. If you lose, the history of Rock regresses." He then clutches this weird green skull fragment, his face twisting with determination. This just got personal, and the fight is on. Rock and Roll guy squares off against another big shot, and they're trading some serious blows. You can just feel the power behind every punch. This is a top-tier brawl. Of course, Manager Kim isn't just going to stand by and watch. He joins the fray, and his speed is just unreal. Those fists are a blur, a relentless storm of attacks that his opponent just can't handle. Pure, unadulterated violencia. Our boy has gone completely feral. He grabs his opponent by the head and just starts hammering them into the ground. Pow, pow, pow. Look at her face, contorted in agony. That is just brutal. And he's not letting up. Thwack, crack. A vicious combination of blows, each one landing with sickening force. The poor guy on the receiving end is completely stunned, his face a mask of pain and shock. The whole place is getting torn apart, with debris raining down from the ceiling. But amidst the chaos, our boy remains focused, weathering the storm and getting ready to dish out more pain. He's a machine. He just casually lifts this massive dude over his head like he weighs nothing. The crowd is stunned into silence. Look at the cold, murderous intent in his eyes. He is on a whole other level. The enemy lands a solid hit, a brutal smash to the back of the head. But all it does is make Manager Kim angrier. He takes the hit, gritting his teeth, his eyes burning with even more fury. You can't break this man. WOHO. He lets out a battle cry, completely fired up. It's him, one man, against an entire wall of stoic, disciplined fighters. The tension is off the charts. This is going to be epic. Phew. He takes a breather, the immediate threat neutralized. But the real mastermind just gives this smug little smile and a gesture. He's treating this whole thing like a game. The situation is far from over. And just like that, all hell breaks loose. More goons swarm in from every direction, armed with knives and bats. The place erupts into total chaos. The blood on Kim's face and the rage in his eyes tell you everything you need to know. This is about to get ugly. The enemies are getting tougher, with tattooed thugs wielding massive blades. But reinforcements have arrived. The Taekwondo kid from before is here, tying his black belt, his eyes sharp and focused. He's ready for action. Our boy teams up with the Taekwondo prodigy, and look at that, they're perfectly in sync, dropping into a fighting stance together. With a powerful ally by his side, the tables might just be turning. That's right, he's Manager Kim, a father who will burn the whole world down to get his daughter back. That killing intent in his eyes, that's the armor he wears to protect the one thing he loves. The fight is getting intense. They're trading heavy blows, BEM. Smack. Our boy takes a clean hit to the face, but he just eats it. A little pain is nothing compared to the agony of losing his daughter. He is on an absolute rampage. His punches are literally breaking the walls. Crash. He grabs one of the combatants by the hair and slams her to the ground without a second thought. He knows that in this world, mercy gets you killed. With a ferocious roar, he unleashes a lightning-fast combo. Crash. Grab. He moves with such speed and purpose, you can barely track his movements. This is the true power of a top-tier Black Ops agent. Meanwhile, the Taekwondo kid is having a rough time, already bleeding from the mouth. And just then, a mysterious man with an eye patch struggles to his feet from the rubble, huffing and puffing. Looks like another dangerous player has entered the game. Our boy Kim is battered and bruised, sweat and blood dripping down his face. But that fire in his eyes is still burning bright. Little does the enemy know, The Taekwondo expert has spotted an opening, tapping his shoe as he readies a surprise attack. And now Kim is just showing off, unleashing a whirlwind of kicks that sends goons flying left and right. The sheer power and speed are insane. His combat prowess is completely off the charts. And let's not forget our Taekwondo master, Song Hansu. He's a storm of blue energy. His kicks are sharp and deadly. He carves a path through the enemy ranks, perfectly complementing Kim's brutal style. What a duo. Even the woman in the hanbok has had enough. She grabs a gun, her eyes filled with desperate resolve, screaming, "Shoot them!" And then, bang, the trigger is pulled. But the sheer number of enemies is overwhelming. Our boy gets grabbed by a tatted-up brute, caught in a powerful hold. Meanwhile, the mysterious guy in the cap is lurking in the shadows, moving stealthily, waiting for the right moment to strike. Everyone is getting pushed to their limits in this chaotic brawl. Kim takes a bullet to the chest, but he's still holding on, gripping his gun with fierce determination. Even the woman in the hanbok is armed and ready to fight to the bitter end. And the bullets fly. Both Kim and the woman open fire in a coordinated attack. Bam bam. The guy in the cap never stood a chance. That's what you get for messing with this crew. Just when she thinks it's over, she realizes the guy they shot isn't dead. He just passed out. The look on her face says it all. This situation is way more complicated and dangerous than she ever imagined. She starts thinking back. What was the meaning of the counting he did with his fingers before fainting? She realizes it was a code. But just as she's about to speak, someone cuts her off and her eyes narrow. She knows something is wrong. Turns out, this is all part of a much darker plot. She's being ordered to take care of her comrade and then kill herself to prove her loyalty to the party. This is some cold, ruthless secret agent stuff. And then it clicks. If that's the case, the counting means it was a countdown. With a cold smile, she points the gun at her injured comrade. She's figured out the plan. With factions clashing and loyalties being tested, everyone is caught in a deadly game. Our boy Kim, battered and scarred, knows he has to navigate this treacherous landscape to have any hope of seeing his daughter again. And to make matters worse, the military shows up. With soldiers swarming the area, our crew has no choice but to make a run for it. Kim stays cool under pressure, scanning for an escape route. After a quick, silent confirmation with his allies, just a simple NOD, Manager Kim's face contorts with explosive rage. He knows that to protect the people with him, he has to become the monster one more time. But he gets caught off guard. The woman in the hanbok suddenly turns on him, restraining him from behind. Looks like she had her own agenda all along. The betrayals just keep coming. As the military closes in, this absolute beast with a massive back tattoo scoops up the girl and makes a break for it, sprinting through the pouring rain. The look on his face is a mix of fierce determination and gentle care. He'll protect her no matter what. Their escape leads them to a place called the Sky Pawn Shop. You can tell immediately this is no ordinary pawn shop. At the top of the stairs, a muscular dude with a ponytail watches them with cold, calculating eyes. They've just jumped from the frying pan into the fire. And we quickly see the dark truth behind this place. It's a front for human trafficking. The terrified looks on these girls' faces tell a horrifying story. This pawn shop is a literal gateway to hell. And the man behind it all? This bald dude with the shades and gold chains. He's living it up, surrounded by women, completely indifferent to the suffering he causes. Little does he know, Manager Kim is about to crash his party in the most violent way possible. Our crew infiltrates the villain's nightclub. While the bald boss is partying without a care in the world, our Taekwondo expert and the guy in the cap are in position, their eyes sharp and focused. It's about to go down. The old man seems to know they're here, and he starts playing mind games, dropping hints and veiled threats. He's got this smug look on his face, enjoying the tension. But our team stays cool, refusing to take the bait. Enough talking, it's time for action. Ponytail guy makes the first move, launching a flying kick that takes down a guard in a flash. Swoosh! That clean, powerful technique tells you he's a serious fighter. Our Taekwondo prodigy is just as impressive. A dagger comes flying at his face, and he doesn't even flinch, dodging it with ease. He immediately counters, POW thwack, taking down the attackers before they can even react. But through all this, the old boss is just sitting there with a condescending smirk. He's seen it all before. To him, these skilled fighters are just kids putting on a show. Finally, the big boss makes his move. He leaps into action like a predator, a cruel smile on his face. Looking at his massive frame and vicious expression, you just know this is going to be a brutal fight. After their initial clash, our boy looks serious, but the old man is just grinning from ear to ear. He's actually enjoying this, amused by the challenge. He's confident he's still leagues above them. The blatant disrespect is getting to them. Ponytail guy is fuming, cracking his knuckles in frustration. Meanwhile, the boss just keeps partying, acting like they're not even a threat. He's pushing all the wrong buttons. And we get a little more backstory on the Sky Pawn Shop. It's a one-stop shop for the criminal underworld. Money laundering, new identities, anything can be bought here for the right price. But there's a strange rule. If a client can beat the owner in a drinking game, their service fee is waived. This, of course, attracts all sorts of challengers trying to get a free pass. And we see one such challenger in action. This poor suit tries his luck and gets absolutely demolished, chugging bottle after bottle until the boss just smashes one over his head. Thud! The man's down. Yeah, no kidding. This boss, Pyong Giant, is a legendary drinker. His own people are begging him to stop, worried he's going to kill himself, but he just waves them off. In his 50-year history, he's never lost. That's right. He has never been defeated. He is the undisputed king of this establishment. Bring me another bottle. He roars, fully in his element. But today, he might have met his match. Our guy in the cap, Code 66, casually remarks, "These bottles, they're nothing compared to what I used to drink." The tension immediately skyrockets. A legendary drinking battle is about to begin. Ponytail guy is itching for a fight, cracking his knuckles, but he knows he has to play by the house rules. So he sits down with the boss, and they raise their glasses. This isn't just a drinking game. It's a battle of wills. And they're off. Chug, chug, chug. Gulp, gulp, gulp. These guys aren't drinking. They're inhaling alcohol. It's an absolutely insane display of tolerance that leaves our other heroes completely stunned. It escalates to the point where they're literally breathing fire, turning the nightclub into a chaotic circus. This has gone way beyond a simple drinking game. This is a death match. But in the end, even the legendary Pyong Giant has his limits. He collapses, a mixture of sweat and blood on his face, a bitter smile admitting defeat. The 50-year undefeated streak is finally over. Now that the game is won, it's time to get down to business. Ponytail Guy's expression turns deadly serious. With a flash of killing intent, he moves in to finish the job. He played the game, and now he's collecting his prize. So, their goal was to get new identities made. The Taekwondo expert lays out their request, but the old man just smiles that cunning smile of his. He knows he still holds all the cards. We get a flashback. Our Taekwondo kid was an Olympic gold medalist, but right after his victory, he was forcibly recruited by a shadowy organization marked with the number 21. His triumph was immediately stolen from him. The recruiter is brutally honest, telling him his physical capabilities and looks can be useful, and that there's no way out. He's being trapped, his life no longer his own, and the sheer powerlessness of it all is crushing. And it seems manager Kim himself was involved in this recruitment system. Facing two disrespectful superiors, he lays down the law with ice in his veins. Come back after you kill him. Then I'll use my authority to discharge you. The absolute power move. Back in the present, the Taekwondo kid faces a formidable opponent, but he's strangely calm. He even calls himself a fan and offers the guy a freebie. He's got a plan, and he's playing it cool. The standoff between Ponytail and the old man continues. The boss has this sly, cunning look in his eyes, like he's 3 steps ahead. Meanwhile, our Taekwondo expert watches intently, waiting for the perfect moment to make his move. In a shocking move, our Taekwondo master drops to one knee, a gesture of complete submission. In his mind, he sees his daughter. For her, he's willing to sacrifice his pride, his honor, everything just for a chance to save her. The old man is taken aback, but quickly scoffs at the display. But our boy isn't looking at him. He's picturing a happy reunion with his daughter, and a small, genuine smile appears on his face. In that moment, he knows any humiliation is worth it. This is our hero, Hansu Song. This is Manager Kim, a man who can be a demon in a fight and a devoted father who will kneel before his enemies. He'll do whatever it takes. That is the depth of a father's love. After that intense confrontation, the crew finally makes their escape on a speedboat, cutting through the waves under the cover of night. But you know it's not over. A clean getaway is never that easy. The tension on the boat is thick enough to cut with a knife. Our Taekwondo master and Ponytail Guy are on high alert. With injured comrades on deck, it's clear they just fought their way out, and the danger is far from over. Meanwhile, back on land, the old boss gets a call. Rhying. He answers with that same smug attitude, but what he hears on the other end brings a sinister smile to his face. A bigger, darker plan is being set in motion. And who's on the other end of that line? A man in a suit, standing in an office adorned with the South Korean national flag and emblem. This is a high-ranking government official. What kind of dirty deal is he making with a crime lord? I can't do it, the official screams into the phone. Our plans have been ruined because he made it out alive. He's completely losing his cool, while the old boss just listens with that wicked grin, enjoying the chaos he's caused. The plot thickens. They were planning an assassination, and our heroes were just pawns in their game. This goes way beyond a simple kidnapping. This is about international relations and political power plays. The old man scoffs at the officials' panic. To him, our hero is just a useful chess piece. In the eyes of these powerful men, human lives are just resources to be used and discarded in their grand game. Back with our crew, it seems someone knows more than they're letting on. He confronts the guy in the cap, questioning if he should be going back to South Joseon, a term for South Korea used by the North. Their secret identities are starting to unravel. Back with the boss, he continues his manipulations, reminding them that they're dealing with a guy who tried to assassinate the next in line for North Korean leadership. The stakes are impossibly high, and our crew looks completely overwhelmed. The phone call reveals the core conflict. The official wants our hero dead, but the old boss wants to use him. They negotiate, and the official finally concedes because, as he says, since it's you who's vouching for him, we gotta trust you. The old man's influence is immense. The boss agrees to vouch for them, but on one condition. As he says the word price, that ominous number 21 flashes on screen again, drenched in red. Whatever this price is, it's going to be steep and it's going to be bloody. With the deal struck, the boss hangs up the phone, a smug look of satisfaction on his face. He's a master manipulator who never makes a deal unless he profits. He knows keeping this chess piece in play will pay off big time. He tells our heroes they can go south and start a new life. It sounds too good to be true, and judging by that wicked smile on his face, it probably is. This is just another move in his elaborate game. But of course, there's a catch. The old man says he needs to strike another deal for that girl, and she'll have to leave 2 days later. This sudden change of plans sends our guy in the cap into a blind rage. What? He's losing his cool, but the woman tries to reason with him. What are you going to do? You have a better plan? She asks. They have no time and no other options. They're trapped. He tries to calm down, but he's clearly on edge, sweating and clenching his fists. The old boss just mocks him from the side. You sure about this? Don't get all jittery. He loves pouring salt on the wound. Then the boss lays down his final, chilling command. You send me the address, and I'll make sure to take her there. With that confident, menacing smile, he makes it clear he is in complete control of their fate. And we cut to, wait, what is this? A completely different vibe. We got a couple getting real close, real fast. But hold on, the mood shifts on a dime. 1 second they're all lovey-dovey. The next, his face goes ice cold, all business. Look at her surprised expression. This isn't a sweet memory, it's a tense one. Back to the present. A quiet suburban house at night, and then the lights go out. A classic calm before the storm. And BM, the title card Manager Kim splashes across the screen, drenched in blood. The vibe is set, and there he is, our boy Mr. Kim. Shirtless, covered in scars, looking like he's ready to dismantle an entire army. The man is a walking weapon. Meanwhile, a woman's just stepping out of the shower, and boom, Mr. Kim is right there behind her like a ghost. Look at that physique, that cold side profile. He's pure intimidation. She's clearly startled. But then, we cut to someone completely new. Bald, sunglasses, built like a tank. This dude screams final boss. Who the hell is this guy? What? The big boss seems to have received some surprising news. He's scratching his head, clearly annoyed. The woman in the traditional dress beside him looks just as shocked. And finally, the camera lands on a young woman in a white headscarf, tears in her eyes, looking absolutely heartbroken. Yep, she's definitely at the center of all this chaos. And it's his daughter, Minji. Our boy pulls her into a hug, and look at that. The stone-cold killer is crying. This reunion hits right in the feels. You can see the journey on Minji's face, from fear and shock to pure relief and comfort. This is what he's been fighting for. This one moment. But this heartwarming moment won't last long. Little do they know, a fully equipped tactical team is mobilizing elsewhere. And their commander, a stern-looking officer with glasses, is locked in. You just know they're preparing for a major operation. The storm is brewing. And we're jumping back in time, it seems. A man with a code 66 patch is in custody. And yup, that's our boy. So he's been on their radar for a while. The interrogation room is tense as hell. Meanwhile, some suit bursts into an office, looking frantic. Something big is about to go down. We couldn't find a single trace of her in the house. This is the beginning of his nightmare. Even with no leads, you can see the fire in his eyes. He walks alone in the rain, a man on a mission. As he says, they may not have a smoking gun, but he knows who's responsible. And he's coming for them. New chapter, and we're diving straight into the action. No warm-up, just pure chaos. A fist slams down, someone's screaming, military officers are getting decked. Then a black SUV peels out. They're not wasting any time. This is a full-blown assault right from the get-go. Inside the car, a guy is blindfolded and cuffed. Classic kidnapping situation. The driver is your typical stoic tough guy in shades. The passenger drops a heavy line. They're planning something we cannot handle. Okay, so this is way bigger than a simple abduction. We're in conspiracy territory now. The cast of characters in this car just gets weirder. We've got a sharp-looking suit, a mysterious dude with his head wrapped up, and this old guy with glasses and a smirk that says he's 10 steps ahead of everyone. They're talking about a peaceful plan for the entire Korean peninsula. Yeah, right? Nothing about this feels peaceful. So where's this car headed? Meanwhile, in a fancy room, one man is facing down a line of furious military officers. One of them is completely losing it. And at that exact moment, in a quiet mountain town, a single leather shoe steps into frame. The hero has arrived. Mr. Kim suits up in military gear, and just like that, the loving father is gone, replaced by a cold-blooded operator. The title card drops again, reminding us who he really is. In the command center, he's screaming his head off. Wake up. We can't even locate our president now. But then a smirk. That chilling, confident smirk. This guy is playing his own game, and he's enjoying the chaos. Another flashback. In some dark cave, a younger Kim is being interrogated or trained. The soldiers around him look absolutely brutal. But look at his eyes, pure defiance and rage. It's this hellish environment that forged the monster he is today. Code 66. The bloodstained patch tells a story. In his memory, he's facing off against a fellow soldier, his expression ice cold. And the man he's up against? An officer with a red star on his cap. There it is, the big reveal. Our boy Kim was a top-tier North Korean agent. This changes everything. The flashback continues, taking us to a military base in the north. A younger Kim, carrying a bag, calmly walks through a heavily guarded checkpoint. He flashes his ID to the soldiers like it's nothing. Is he infiltrating or returning home? He's so cool about it, you can't tell. Cooperate. I have to report to the chairman. And with that, he takes down 2 soldiers in the blink of an eye. Swift, brutal, efficient. Another memory flashes by. Him with 2 other suits after the Harbin incident. This guy's been living on the edge for a long, long time. We see Kim's lonely figure walking down a hall when a desperate plea comes through. Help me. Please. It has to be his daughter. He immediately gets on the phone, frantic. And who's on the other end? The bald boss we saw earlier, chilling in a hot spring with 2 ladies. The contrast is infuriating. He's relaxing while holding a child's life in his hands. The villains are making their moves. The bald boss is scheming with his associate. Elsewhere, a mysterious figure commands the attention of an entire army. That's some serious power. The northern officers are involved too. It's a complex web of players, and our boy Kim is right in the middle, stirring the pot with a single phone call. The call reaches the big boss, who doesn't even bother to pick it up himself. The message travels up the chain of command, and soon enough, a North Korean officer gets the intel and completely loses his mind. An emergency meeting is called. The mood is grim. Whatever Kim did, the fallout is massive. The officer is sweating bullets, and for good reason. Kim is heading for the 6th tunnel, a secret underground passage. Look at him, walking into that darkness alone, completely determined. Our boy is about to walk straight into the lion's den. The mission objective: infiltrate the special mansion. Kim isn't alone this time. He's leading a team. They're rappelling, being escorted in the rain, checking their gear. This is a full-blown special op. This has evolved from a personal vendetta into a calculated military strike. Infiltration is a go. A guard is just sitting there, minding his own business, when Kim drops on him from above. It's so fast, the guard barely has time to register shock before he's taken out. That's the skill of a top-tier agent. Silent, swift, and deadly. And now it's time for the Mr. Kim show. Pow! Pow! He's a whirlwind of destruction, tearing through the guards. Look at the impact, the sheer force. This isn't a fight, it's a slaughter. These guys stood no chance. He grabs a rope from a basket, and with one swift motion, thwack, another enemy is down. His face is a mask of cold determination. He's an emotionless killing machine right now. His objective is clear, and anyone who gets in his way will be eliminated. So, if I leak the information, to catch them, yeah? Looks like there's an inside man. A mysterious commander in white sunglasses appears, while our boy Kim is on the other end of the line. This whole infiltration is a setup, a carefully planned trap. And Kim is the bait. Meanwhile, the bald boss is meeting with someone. A luxury car rolls up, and inside sits a shadowed figure, the real big shot. It looks like the big fish is finally taking the bait. Kim's plan is working perfectly, drawing out the mastermind. The car drives straight into the 6th tunnel, lined with guards. The mood inside is heavy. But then, in a shocking display of ruthlessness, they just run over two of their own sentries at the entrance. No weaknesses. These guys are playing for keeps. And then things get absolutely insane. Our boy was on top of the car the whole time. He's strangling a soldier inside the moving vehicle. This is next level action. He gets thrown off, but damn, he's already caused maximum chaos inside that car. We get a weird cut to an old man smiling, and some ladies in a hot spring at a place called Yankee Sin. Very mysterious. Back on the road, the chase continues, and another body gets tossed from the car. This plan is nonsensical and utterly chaotic, and I'm here for it. Oh, now I see. That's not just a rope, it's AC4 wire, and he's wrapped it around the steering column. At the same time, we see the bald villain holding Minji. Our boy is ready to blow this whole car to Kingdom Come to get his daughter back. He is not messing around, and the plan works. The wire detonates, the car loses control, and it's a massive crash. The officers inside are screaming in terror. Mr. Kim just created his own explosive diversion in the most badass way possible. The crash site is a war zone, gunfire everywhere. But in the distance, the bald boss and his lady friend are just watching it all unfold with smiles on their faces. They're enjoying the show. That level of calm is genuinely terrifying. Emerging from the chaos, our boy is on a rampage. He's got one guy pinned, a gun to another's throat, and that look in his eyes is pure murder. He is an unstoppable force of nature right now, tearing through anything that stands between him and his daughter. The bloody title card drops once more, a perfect end cap to this chapter of absolute carnage. Manager Kim? Nah, this is Warrior Kim. New chapter, and Mr. Kim is absolutely losing it on some poor suit. He's screaming, grabbing the guy by his collar, and then his pants rip. Welp, that's one way to break the tension. A wardrobe malfunction in the middle of a death threat. You love to see it. Kim's rage is infectious. He's threatening to kill everyone, and the guy he's yelling at looks like he's about to have a heart attack. The chaos is spreading to the military too, with soldiers turning on each other. Our boy has single-handedly thrown everything into disarray. One beat-up black car is being chased by an entire convoy of military trucks. He is literally being hunted by the army. But look at Kim inside the car. He's perfectly calm. This isn't a panicked escape. This is part of his plan. The soldiers are screaming, and in the back seat, a man is tied up. It looks like Kim has been captured. But is he really? Look at that numb, stoic expression. This feels like a ruse. He's letting himself be caught, playing the part of the perfect bait. There's a rope wrapped around his hand, ready to go. Yep, being captured was definitely a smokescreen. Because of his actions, the military command center is in a full-blown panic. They're trying to get the North Korean emergency hotline. Holy crap, our boy just created an international incident. Inside the command center, the top brass is on edge, and Mr. Kim is no longer their prisoner. He's turned the tables, pointing and yelling, making his demands. He manufactured an international crisis just to get a seat at the negotiation table. Genius. Negotiation? Who needs negotiation? Kim goes straight to using his fists, decking an officer named Jang. He's sending a very clear message to these bureaucrats. He is the one in charge right now. You're the one who's crossing the line here, he roars, his fist practically sparking with rage. He's taken over their communication system. Alarms are blaring. The comms officer is panicking. This guy isn't just a brawler. He's a tech genius too. Kim gets on the horn and delivers his ultimatum. The man on the other end is terrified, absolutely shook to his core. We don't know what Kim said, but whatever it was, the message was received loud and clear. The hooded man from the car is back. The old man who took the call looks grim. And then, in a shocking twist, the hooded man breaks free, pulls a gun, and aims it right at the old man's head. Was this part of Kim's plan all along? Is this his ace in the hole? After screaming his threats into the phone, Kim's expression changes. The rage melts away, replaced by a cold, calculating smile. The trap has been set. Now he just has to watch it spring. The gray-haired General Jang tries to regain control, warning Kim about crossing the line. But it's too late. Kim is surrounded by soldiers, but he couldn't care less. He knows he's already won this round. Kim is sweating, clearly drained from the intense confrontation. The scene shifts to the Imjin River Bridge, where troops are gathering. This is it. This is the location he's chosen for the final showdown. On the bridge, two armies face off, the North and the South. The tension is thick enough to cut with a knife. And our boy orchestrated this whole standoff. Meanwhile, a black car is speeding towards this powder keg, ready to light the fuse. The military is trying to stop the car. Jeeps are in hot pursuit, and a spiked roadblock is set up ahead. They're desperately trying to prevent whatever Kim has planned. But you can't stop a hurricane. Predictably, The car smashes right through the barricade and then drives straight off the bridge into the river below. What the hell? Is this a suicide mission or the most dramatic escape plan ever? Let's break down that epic moment in slow motion. The impact, the bridge cracking, the metal groaning, and finally the splash. Mr. Kim just directed his own Hollywood-level action sequence. A blade flashes underwater. The commander on the bridge is losing his mind, and special forces are scrambling. But in another car, a man with glasses watches the chaos calmly. I knew it. The crash was a diversion. Our boy was never in that car. He played them all. And now, the real objective is revealed. The talk about releasing a leader was all a lie. The real bombshell. He's related to the late Eugen Rim. Get to the hospital now and secure the child. It was never about his daughter. The target is another kid entirely. What a plot twist. A classic misdirection. While everyone's eyes were on the bridge, our boy and his crew were already storming the hospital. He grabs a nurse, his face grim. He's here for the child. This was the plan all along. A quick montage sums it up. Kim's cold expression, bloody files scattered at the hospital, the watchful eye of the northern officer, and the car sinking in the river. All this chaos was a smokescreen for one thing. Kim got what he came for. But just when you think he's won, a new player enters the game. A man with glasses and a sly smirk. He strolls into an office that he has clearly just demolished, with terrified employees running for their lives. Looks like Kim has more than one enemy to worry about. Back at the hospital, Kim's rampage is interrupted by a man in a Taekwondo uniform. A nurse is on the ground, begging him to stop. It seems our boy has found a new obstacle standing in his way, and this one looks like he can fight. Kim watches from his car, cold and calculating. Inside, the Taekwondo master has the nurse under his control. The tension is palpable. A showdown between these two elite fighters is inevitable. The Taekwondo master cracks a confident smile, but the bloody manager Kim title card tells us what's coming. Another brutal fight. And this opponent looks like he's on a completely different level from the usual grunts. New chapter, and we see the first meeting between the bald boss and the Taekwondo master. The boss is acting all high and mighty, inviting him to sign a contract. But the young champion looks resolute, unafraid. And the contract is revealed. Holy smokes, it's a slave contract. It literally says owner and servant. So this Taekwondo world champion, Hansu Song, sold himself to the bald boss to be his personal enforcer. A harsh world where even the strongest have to bow to money. And we jump to another storyline entirely. Inside the military, a general is yelling at a soldier named Jinchul Park. Why on earth are you refusing to get promoted? Looks like there's some internal drama brewing on the military side of things. This Jinchul Park guy, built like a truck with long hair and glasses, definitely has a backstory. And standing beside him is a sharp, capable-looking female officer. These two are clearly major players in the military. Well, things just got intense. Park suddenly grabs the female officer's hands, dropping to one knee. He's sweating, and his face is a mask of pure desperation and panic. What the hell is the history between these two? The drama is off the charts. A flashback gives us clues. A broken hair tie, Park screaming in agony, and him on his knees, begging. There's a tragedy here, something full of regret. He's not refusing a promotion out of arrogance. He's doing it as a form of penance. And we end on a quiet, tense note. A lone figure, looking up, listening. After all the noise and violence, this moment of silence feels heavy. It's the calm before the next, even bigger storm. And just like that, the storm we were waiting for hits. Hard. Our boy Kim is all business, pure ice-cold fury. Meanwhile, this other dude is just straight up unhinged, laughing his head off and ripping his shirt open. And are those brave man briefs? Hilarious. But Kim isn't playing around. He's here to tear through everyone in his path. And the first shot is fired. Meanwhile, the chaos is just getting started elsewhere on the battlefield. This muscle-bound maniac is basically a human mortar, just tossing explosives left and right like they're party favors. He's not here to fight. He's here to clear the board. And in the middle of all this mayhem, someone's actually yelling, "Everybody calm down. Dude, read the room." It's way too late for that. Because look who's arrived. Our boy Kim, shirtless and looking absolutely terrifying. That cold smirk on his face. That's the look of a man completely in control of the chaos he's creating. The guy in green never stood a chance. And you think it's over? Oh, it's just getting started. Kim is actually laughing now, raining grenades down on his enemies. He even gets a headshot with a grenade. This isn't just a concerned father anymore. This is a full-blown war machine unleashed. And just like that, it's over. Kim stands victorious amidst the carnage. Sweat is dripping, muscles are tense, but that smile on his face is just bone-chilling. There's no joy in it, just pure, terrifying efficiency. These two guys he just took down? they're going to have nightmares for life. Who is that guy? A survivor asks, completely terrified. And the answer comes with a splash of blood right across the screen. Manager Kim. He just casually slings a captive over his shoulder and walks off, like that whole massacre was just a light warm-up. Cut to the beach, where Kim slams his captive onto the sand. But even after all that action, his mind is still sharp, already planning his exfiltration. The paraglider I'd hidden must be around here. And just as he's thinking tactically, a whole-ass submarine surfaces. Okay, this isn't just a personal vendetta. This was a full-blown military op. So, this whole chaotic sequence has been a flashback. Our boy and his comrade just completed a covert insertion and are now setting up some kind of device on the beach. Little do they know, a squad of enemy soldiers is already moving through the jungle, and their leader is sporting a very nasty-looking grin. The roar of an engine shatters the quiet. The enemy is here. Kim's face hardens. Without a moment's hesitation, he rips off his shirt, revealing a back covered in scars. Each one is a medal from past war. It's him, one man, against an entire squad of armed soldiers. The clash is immediate and brutal. Kim's partner gets blown away from their boat, and Kim himself takes a bullet to the forehead. And his reaction? He just wipes it away and breaks into a maniacal grin. This man is not human. He's a monster. With his back to the enemy, our boy slowly stands tall, every muscle coiled and ready to explode. He's like an unbreakable wall, a one-man army. The soldiers open fire in a panic, but they're facing a man who left the fear of death behind a long, long time ago. And then Kim goes completely berserk. He's holding a grenade, standing on top of a massive bomb, and screaming at the sky, at me. The resulting explosion is apocalyptic, consuming the entire area. And through it all, his expression is resolute, fearless. This is Manager Kim, a man who will destroy everything to complete his mission. The intense flashback fades, and we're back to the present. On a rain-soaked street, Kim is wearing a Love My Daughter t-shirt, but ironically, he's also strapped with an ammo belt. He wears the same unhinged smile from his past. He raises his hands, not in surrender, but as if embracing the coming storm. The woman in front of him is utterly petrified by his presence. The boom of explosions seems to echo in the woman's ears. Look at the detail on Kim's shirt. The heart symbol in love is pierced by his ammo belt. A perfect metaphor for his current state, embracing violence for the sake of family. His quest has led him to all sorts of people, each one a potential clue or another obstacle. A peaceful memory of a walk in the sun clashes violently with the bloody reality of the present. A defeated man lies in the ruins, wondering, how should we clean up this mess? Simple answer, you don't. When Manager Kim gets involved, the mess is just getting started. The police finally arrive, sirens blaring, but they're far too late. The officers and witnesses can only stare in horror at the bodies littering the bridge and the grass. When the world happened here, they have no idea they've just stumbled into the epicenter of a father's personal hell. In the pouring rain, the image of his terrified daughter, Minji, flashes in his mind. That love and worry are the fuel for the cold-blooded resolve we see now. The man he's confronting has no clue what he's up against. Meanwhile, a dark figure quietly steps into the scene. Another gut-wrenching flashback. Kim clutches his daughter, her mouth taped shut, tears streaming down her face. His expression is a twisted mix of rage, pain, and guilt. Her helplessness is the only reason he needs to become a monster. The memory fades, leaving only grim determination on Kim's face. He closes his eyes, as if saying goodbye to his former self. And then we see the results of his fury. A scene of absolute carnage, surrounded by police cars and an armored vehicle. The sirens wail, announcing the start of a one-man war. While Kim unleashes hell, his daughter Minji is peacefully washing dishes at home, completely unaware. The contrast between her mundane life and his violent reality is heartbreaking. Holding a card with info on Biko, Kim grabs his briefcase and walks into the unknown. His silhouette screams solitary determination. Elsewhere, the plot thickens. A woman is stunned by a price she just heard, while a shady old chairman chills in a club, talking about using some scandal to crush his rivals. And on the other end of a phone call, a man in glasses smiles knowingly. A massive web of conspiracy is being woven, and that phone call connects all the key players. Kim, cool as ever, makes the call from City Street. The young man on the receiving end looks shocked. Even some mysterious bald boss in a high-tech room is patched in. Everyone is on the move. The game is afoot. A warning comes over the phone. One wrong choice, and you're dead or permanently maimed. The enemy you're about to face is on another level. But does our boy back down? Of course not. He just keeps walking, briefcase in hand, straight towards the Biko HRM company. He's literally walking into the lion's den. Right before entering, Kim pulls a hidden blade from a wrist device. The ordinary salaryman is gone. Agent 66 is back. He doesn't bother with the handle. He just smashes the lock with brute force. Sparks fly as he steps into the dark, smoky unknown. The interview is about to begin. Clutching the keycard, our boy stands before door number 01 foot. You can see the sweat on his brow. He knows what kind of danger lies beyond, but there's no turning back. With a decisive click, he turns the handle and enters the battlefield. Kim cautiously peeks through the crack in the door, and his expression instantly shifts from tense to deadly serious. Inside the lavish hall, under a crystal chandelier, lie two dead bodies. And standing over them is a muscular dude in a red mask, just radiating menace. Looks like Kim is either late to the party or right on time for the next round. Hiding behind a pillar, Kim is completely stunned by what he sees. A ridiculously ripped dude who just finished off a guy in a suit is casually pulling on his pants. Kim's probably thinking, I came for an interview, not this. But he also recognizes that this half-naked guy is seriously dangerous, the best of the worst. The interviewer finally confronts Kim, his psychotic grin radiating pressure. Our boy is sweating bullets, looking seriously stressed. And then, we get a random panel of an elephant spraying water? What the heck? Is this a metaphor for the absurdity of the situation? Or did Kim get hit so hard he's hallucinating? Yep, it's the latter. He just took a massive hit. So it turns out this company, which claims to be an honest and transparent secondhand car dealership, is just a front for some seriously violent business. One minute they're talking shop, the next, this dude with the gold chain sends a guy flying with a single punch. Yep, Kim is definitely in the right place. Facing off against these thugs, Kim drops the act. His eyes narrow, and he instantly transforms into a bloodthirsty demon. His opponent, completely terrified, is curled up on the ground before he even knows what hit him. The fight is on, and our boy goes absolutely feral. Shirtless, covered in wounds, and sporting that terrifying grin, he takes on two of them at once. They're trying to talk their way out of it, but Kim is way past listening. Right now, all he wants to do is destroy them. Every single punch lands with the force of a freight train. Kim's attacks are fast, precise, and absolutely brutal. His opponents can't even keep up. Look at the guy in the black t-shirt getting sent flying. The impact literally cracks the ground. This is the power of a top-tier agent. Another one goes down. A single punch sends him flying through a wooden plank, blood and splinters everywhere. Kim just stands there, cold and unfazed. To him, these guys are just obstacles on the path to his daughter, and they will all be removed without mercy. The guy with the gold chain takes a direct hit, and his face is a mask of pure agony and disbelief. He probably never imagined he'd run into a monster like this. This is a level of pain he's never experienced before. Let's rewind to the beginning of the interview. The man with the ponytail taunts Kim, thinking he's in control with that twisted smirk on his face. Little does he know, our boy is smiling right back at him. The calm, confident smile of a predator who's just found his prey. And finally, Kim snaps. He clenches his fist and unleashes a punch so powerful it sends a guy flying. Even Kim himself seems a little surprised by his own strength, thinking, I thought I just hit him. The man in glasses watches calmly, as if he knew all along what Kim was capable of. Pinning his opponent down, Kim flashes that cold, confident smile again. He's fully in control now, back in his element as a ruthless agent. Anyone who stands in his way is going to pay the price. The rest of the fight is a blur of motion. Our boy is a whirlwind of destruction, taking out thugs with swift, brutal kicks. His movements are so clean, so efficient. He's showing off, and he knows it. What a flex. Kim rushes the last two opponents, taking them both down with a single, devastating crash. He turns his back on the defeated men shivering on the floor. Behind those sunglasses, his eyes are ice cold. Mission accomplished. Kim's rage has everyone on edge, but the smug dude in the sunglasses just sits there, sipping his drink with a condescending smile, practically daring him. Meanwhile, the boss is already thinking ahead, realizing that with a little training, Kim could become the company's new ace. The office politics here are just as brutal as the fights. It seems the higher-ups planned this all along, putting Kim on this specific case because they knew it was trouble. That cunning smile says it all. Everything is going according to plan. And sure enough, the scene explodes into action again. Someone gets sent flying, and all hell breaks loose. This red-haired kid really thought he could take on Manager Kim with a mop? Seriously? That's like bringing a spoon to a gunfight. Our boy doesn't even flinch. With a single, clean kick, he sends a guy flying and teaches him a very painful lesson about power levels. Cutting to a completely different scene, we're in a classroom. A pink-haired guy is screaming in agony, and behind him, the entire class is knocked out on the floor. A lone figure with black hair stands in the doorway, surveying the chaos. Is he the next target, or the one responsible for all this? What just happened? The defeated thugs wonder, completely bewildered. And there's Manager Kim, standing at the podium with a gentle smile, as if he wasn't the one who just wiped the floor with all of them. The contrast is terrifying. And then, the title drop with a blood splatter. Manager Kim. Teacher, father, and stone-cold killer. The story seems to shift back to Kim's cover as a teacher. He's giving a dry lecture on Korean history, and the students are either bored to tears or plotting something. The kid with the headband and bandages clearly just got out of a fight, while a couple of blondes in the back are whispering, up to no good. The classroom tension finally explodes. The injured student starts making threats, and things get heated fast. That's when Kim, in his role as the teacher, finally has enough. He lets out a roar that silences the entire class. The words "invaded South Korea" on the blackboard behind him feel strangely appropriate for the power he's projecting. Kim takes the troublemakers to the bathroom for some after-school tutoring. He tells them coldly, "You don't have a choice." Looking at his determined back against the crude graffiti on the walls, you just know this tutoring session is going to get physical. The three punks corner Kim in the bathroom, taunting him about outnumbering him. "What can you do?" they ask. Kim just looks at them with an unnerving calmness, like an adult watching children play. He knows that in a confined space like this, numbers mean absolutely nothing. A cold smirk plays on Kim's lips, and then he moves, a blur of motion too fast for the punks to even register. The scene then cuts abruptly to the gray-haired man playing golf. The peaceful swing is a stark contrast to the bathroom brawl, hinting that a much larger game is being played, with powerful figures pulling the strings. The gray-haired man gets a call. They've begun. His face twists in anguish and anxiety. His men and the mysterious woman in the white hat all look on with grave expressions. It's clear that whatever is happening, the stakes are incredibly high. The old man rises from his chair and gives the command. At the same time, we see Kim sprinting through an alley. Finally, a hand places a golf ball on a tee, and a big red 0-1 foot appears. This isn't just the first hole. It's the official start of Manager Kim's counterattack. And we see just how brutal this old man is. He's using a golf club to pry open a captive's mouth, forcing a golf ball inside as a form of interrogation. His subordinates watch in stunned silence. This level of cruelty is off the charts. The results of the interrogation are horrific. The victim is an absolute mess, and the man responsible looks like a demon, his eyes glowing red with pure, primal rage. Every single person in this crew is a monster. Back at the school, Kim has the situation completely under control. He whispers something to the bullies, and whatever he said, it's clearly more terrifying than any punch he could throw. Look at the absolute horror on that kid's face. Pure psychological warfare. Really? For real? Kim asks with a predatory grin. The three thugs in front of him are completely broken. They do the only thing they can. They bow down in submission. Without throwing another punch, Manager Kim just recruited a new crew. Another gang, this one in matching green jackets, tries to block Kim's path. His response? A simple no. He just keeps walking towards them, coolly sipping his drink. His utter lack of fear is more intimidating than any threat they could make. And now Kim begins his recruitment drive. He zeroes in on their greatest fear, mandatory military service. You guys are 21, right? Did you get your draft notice? I can help you out with that if you want. The way he says help sounds more like a threat from the devil himself. And just like that, they're hooked. The temptation to solve their military service issue is too great. They immediately start arguing amongst themselves, completely forgetting about the man who holds their fate in his hands. Kim has broken them without even trying. In the end, their fear wins. They completely submit, kneeling before Kim and begging. "Tell us what we must do. You're my boss from now on." Kim looks down at them with a gentle smile and says, "It's simple. You just need to help me out a little. And you can help me out by..." Kim says, his smile dripping with unspoken promises and threats. He's no longer just a lone father on a mission. He's now the leader of his own little squad of expendable assets. His search for his daughter is about to get a whole lot more chaotic. Under Kim's pressure, these young thugs have completely broken down. They kneel before him as he explodes in a fit of rage, likely triggered by a memory of his daughter. He needs information, and these guys are now his unwilling informants. Kim begins his interrogation with a hypothetical. If you had to disappear off the grid for a month, like a ghost, how would you do it? This isn't small talk. He's using his tactical mind to deduce where his daughter might be. The thug's answer could be his first real lead. Runaway kids have their own shelter. That answer seems to be exactly what Kim is looking for. He doesn't show it, but the sharp look in his eyes tells us he's just found his next breadcrumb. The investigation into the world of runaways is about to begin. Our boy walks straight into a den of green-jacketed thugs, and his mere presence makes the tension skyrocket. He calmly announces, from now on, a new storm is brewing, and he's the one at its center. He pulls out the picture of his daughter and gives his new crew their first order. You need to find every trace of the girl in this picture. Her boyfriend, school life, close friends, hangouts, favorite food, clothes, even her smallest interests. His final roar leaves no room for failure. Give me everything about her. Under Kim's absolute authority, the thugs can only nod in terror. But when one of them tries to make a run for it, he's met with swift and brutal punishment. Screams of pain and pleas for mercy fill the hallway. Finally, someone breaks under the pressure and spills a critical piece of information. The girl in the picture was Junsong's girl. And apparently, this Junsong is someone you do not want to mess with. These kids thought they were getting a sweet deal to skip military service, but they've just been dragged into something far worse. And this Junsong? He looks like a blade-wielding, fully tattooed nightmare. The violent interrogation continues. The cold, menacing smile on Kim's face is a terrifying contrast to the raw agony on his victims. After the intense confrontation, we're shown a shot of a peaceful blue sky, like a brief moment of calm after the storm, or maybe just the calm before the next one. Standing in the rain, the now educated thugs cry about not wanting to get involved with Junsong. Kim just watches them coldly, and then an explosion rips through a nearby brick house. He's sending a clear message. There is no backing out now. Following the trail leads us to an underground gambling den. Some middle-aged guy is clearly in deep trouble, looking absolutely terrified. The man in charge, a red-haired, tattooed monster, crushes his glass and sends a guy flying with a single punch. This has to be the infamous Junsong. Junsong's methods are brutal. The man he's teaching a lesson is screaming in agony on the floor. With a cigarette hanging from his lips, Junsong looks on with pure indifference, like he's just squashing a bug. His crew watches on, just as menacing. This is a serious organization. And finally, Manager Kim comes face-to-face with Junsong. He calls the guy a monster, but the smirk on his own face is far more terrifying. It's a showdown of beasts. Kim easily overpowers him, grabbing his wrist and showing a clear difference in strength. The hierarchy is established. The shirt comes off, and it turns out our boy has some intimidating ink of his own. He chokes Junsong with one hand while relentlessly smashing his face with the other. Against this level of absolute power, Junsong's ferocity is useless. Holding a bloody phone, Kim gives him a cold warning. Next time. Just as Kim is about to press his advantage, a blonde guy attacks him from behind in a chokehold. But surprisingly, Junsong doesn't seem to appreciate the help, stabbing the blonde man himself. The enemy of my enemy is also my enemy? This is getting complicated. Junsong turns to the blonde guy and asks coldly, "Where do you think you're sneaking off to?" So, there's some internal conflict going on here. Kim's arrival has thrown this whole criminal ecosystem into chaos, and the real show is just getting started.